Hi there. So I'm just going to briefly go over what it takes to start a partnership in Louisiana. It's a pretty complex filing process, so I'm not going to go through the online filing process of all partnership types, but I'll go through one and then understand that it's pretty much the same for each one after that with slight variations. Now, if you're filing online, you're going to need to log into your GoBiz account. If you don't have one, we have a tutorial on our site for how to register for one and how to log in. Um, the first thing you need to do before you even start the process is reserve your business name. What that's going to do is going to enable you to apply for an EIN, an employer identification number, which will be needed in the first page of the Secretary of State registration forms. Now, if you don't plan on filing online, you can print off the PDF here on our site, fill it out on your computer. Actually, yeah, not in that order, obviously. Print it off, fill it on your computer, print it off, and then mail it into the Secretary of State with the filing fees. If you are filing an LLP, it's going to cost you $125. Partnership registration will be charged $100, while foreign partnerships will be required to pay $150. If you're filing through a paper filing method, you're going to need to mail it to this address once you have everything attached. Also, foreign entities are going to need to attach a certificate of good standing to their filing fee or filing form. Now, how to file online. First thing you want to do is log into your GoBiz account. What GoBiz has done is it's consolidated the Louisiana Workforce Commission filing process along with that of the Department of Revenue and as well as the Secretary of State, of course. So if you don't have an account, you got a tutorial here. Otherwise, if you've already got your account, navigate to this website. You'll see the login fields. Enter in your email followed by your password and sign in. That'll present you with your dashboard. Once you're on your dashboard, go ahead and click My Businesses. There you'll see the name reservation you made that I mentioned earlier. You'll see your entity name, entity type, and then you can go ahead and click this icon here. What that's going to do, it's going to give you the business details. You can click on the Activities and Actions button down here, and that's going to convert your name reservation to a name registration. The next page will look something like this. It's pretty much just reminding you to have your federal employer identification number on hand, and it'll give you your reservation number and just a little bit of information here. Just click next. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say here. First thing they're going to ask is the name of the partnership. You don't need to fill this out because that's going to be for the Louisiana Department of Revenue. And then you can supply your federal employer identification number. After that, you're going to notice that you can supply your principal place of business in Louisiana, your mailing address. Then you have to provide the name and address of each partner. Also indicate whether they're a person or a corporation. And at the bottom, you're going to be able to provide your electronic signature, which is actually just your typed name and the title that you hold within the partnership. Next, you're going to be able to upload your partnership agreement. Now, this is something I probably should have mentioned before. You need to have a partnership agreement before you file with the Secretary of State. This can be, what you can do is you can print off your template, which we have here on our site. I'll show you that in a little bit here, and have all your partners agree to the terms in which you've entered into it, have them all sign it, and then you can upload it in PDF form here. After this, you've pretty much done providing the information that the Secretary of State requires. So you're going to be presented with a summary in which you can edit each piece of information individually and click Next. Following this, you'll provide the information for the Department of Revenue. So you're going to have to describe your business activity. How you do that is you look up here, and you'll find like a bunch of drop-down menus. Go through those, click on each one that applies to your situation, and as you click on them, you'll notice that the NAICS code fills out as well. When you're done, your description field will be filled, the code field will be filled, and you're going to have to indicate the percentage of contribution that it gives to your company. Once you've reached 100% contribution, you can continue. Then you have to determine whether or not you apply for sales tax. If you do, click yes, fill out the form. If not, click no and continue. The same can be said for withholding tax, for corporate income and franchise tax, and for any other tax that you think might be applicable. After this, you'll get the Department of Revenue summary page. Click next if it all looks good. The Louisiana Workforce Commission will ask you a couple questions now. The first one being if you have employees in Louisiana or if your business is subject to Federal Unemployment Tax Act in a state other than Louisiana. If the answer is yes, which is a very good chance it will be, you'll have to create an account, an unemployment tax account. That's kind of a lengthy process, so we didn't involve each step here, but it's pretty self-explanatory. If this doesn't apply to you, just click no, and just like the other two departments, you'll get the summary. You can edit anything you just put in, and then you'll click next. After that, you'll be able to check out and file after you pay your filing fee. Now, it might not be what's shown up here, but it'll have your purchase cost and then the state fee, which is $5 for online filing. And if you made a name reservation, which you probably did, it'll subtract that from your total. So they've compensated for that because it's a necessary step. And once you click checkout and file, you've finished, and it'll show on your dashboard when you've been approved, and you're going to be able to conduct business after that. Same thing can be done for a registered LLP, although it's not creating it, it's transferring, giving your partners or general partners limited liability within your company. It's pretty much the same thing, as you can see. Asking there's a field here to provide some extra provisions on the type of business that you plan on conducting. But it's all basically the same thing, especially in the Department of Revenue and the Louisiana Workforce Commission. Application forms are identical. Same thing can be said for foreign LLPs. Of course, you're going to have to attach a certificate of good standing. Besides that, it's pretty much the same. You'll have to provide the information on your principal address in your home state or home country. Besides that, as I said, very similar. So let's scroll all the way down here, and we'll just get to the PDF form. So you can download the Louisiana Registration Partnership form. You can do the same for LLPs, or you have the foreign partnership form. Pretty much the same thing for all of them. The first form is going to be a transmittal form, and where are we here? And that's going to ask the method of payment for your filing fee, your business name, and then the applicant's name, which is you, and your full address. After that, you'll notice that there'll be probably a page that looks something like this, and you'll have to incorporate your current partnership name into the form, previous partnership name if applicable. That's only applicable if it's like an amendment and you decided to change your name. Your address, the name of each partner and their signature, all that stuff. And that can be done for LLPs as well and foreign partnerships. Essentially the same thing. There's a little bit more for the foreign partnerships, but essentially it's very similar information. You're also going to need to apply for a federal employer identification number after you apply with the Secretary of State if you've chosen to register through the PDF form. This is a step that you've taken beforehand if you're filing online, as we've already been over. Essentially, it's the IRS's way of identifying tax withholding businesses and making sure that they're legitimate companies. You're going to need one if you plan on hiring employees, if you plan on opening bank accounts, if you plan on getting corporate credit cards, stuff like that. All is going to be impossible if you don't have a federal employer identification number. Partnership agreement, we talked about before. This is a free template for one. If you click on this, it'll talk a little bit more about what it is and why you need one. But essentially, in Louisiana, they ask that you upload one or you attach one to your PDF forms to just prove that you're organized and to give the Secretary of State an idea of the relationship between partners and between the partners and the partnership. If you click on this, you'll get a little bit more information as to exactly what I mean by that. And each year, businesses will have to file an annual report to renew. This can be done using your GoBiz account, or it can be done just by going to the Secretary of State, Secretary of State website, entering your charter number and renewal ID into the necessary fields. And then you're going to get presented with like all the information on your business, and you can edit each applicable piece of information if there's been, you hired a new registered agent or you've changed principal addresses, stuff like that, just to update the Secretary of State each year. That has to be done 30 days, within the 30 days before the anniversary of your initial filing with the Secretary of State. So that's sort of a general overview of how to start a partnership. I hope that was helpful. Best of luck to you guys.